It's a band called INXS, and the song is "What You Need." I believe you know this one.
I do.
Uh,
This is not the one I have to dismiss immediately. I saw them open for somebody. I don't remember who it was in Detroit at Masonic. And they came out and they blew me away. I was not familiar with them. This is the first album, or I believe the first album that came out in the US,
Yeah.
Shabu Shaba. There was an album before that, I think, that never came out in the US. And I just thought, oh my God, this kid's going to be the new Mick Jagger. I met them later on. I became fans of theirs. They are and they were some of the nicest people on the planet. Um, in 80, no, it was in 90, 91, I was doing uh, benefit motorcycle rides here in San Diego. And we would organize that we'd make t-shirts up and you could come along, and for 25 bucks, we give you a t-shirt, and the money went to pediatric AIDS research. And INXS agreed to come on the ride with us. Two of the members, Kirk Pengilly, and I can't remember the other member that came on. But the whole point is that I had one of the guys from INXS on the back of my motorcycle, and about 450 other motorcyclists showed up, and we drove through the hinterlands of San Diego and ended up at the Hard Rock Cafe. And we had a blast, and we raised a shit ton of money for the charity. And that was the first one I did. And having INXS show up, because they're the kind of band that give a shit, was just mind blowing. And I think they played later that night in San Diego, and I've always been a massive fan. I interviewed Hutchins in London. They were recording whatever album that would have come out in the early 90s. Don't remember. What album was that on? What
was it?
Kick?
Kick was 87, so it was
late. Okay, so
late, but 90 was at like X and Welcome to Wherever You Are.
It's in like,
but you're talking about Kick, probably.
Well, I have interviewed them when they were working in a London studio, because this is the thing about INXS. I'd made arrangements. I was over there on vacation to go see my old buddies. And they told me that they were very close to Oxford Circus. How these things happened in those days, because we didn't have cell phones, I don't remember. But I showed up with my recording gear, sat down with Michael, and he talked about tracks on the new album, so that when it finally came out, I was already ahead of the game and had things to go. And that's the kind of guy he was. He was just, his death was a complete tragedy to me, because it just, certain things pissed me off, and he deserves to still be here, but obviously he's not. But INXS, always one of my favorite bands. They at one point just became very linear sounding, and this album obviously transcended everything they'd done before that. Like the track, I would never have to hear it again if I didn't have to. It's not something that I go like, oh my God, it's Dear God. It's not. Anyway. So keep going. I think it's the Billy Idol one that I'm just going to go, fuck it. Okay, go ahead.
You did. This was X. The album X was recorded partially in London, and it's the one with Suicide Blonde and Disappear,
right?
And Bitter Tears. So yeah,
which is like Suicide Blonde, because no lyrics were printed back in those days. We had listeners calling up, and God, this is so funny talking to you guys, because people called up and go, what the fuck are they saying? And I would always ask, what do you think they're saying? And most people thought it was Soup and Salad Bar. You know how the song goes? The song is like Soup and Salad Bar. Nobody knew it was Suicide Blonde, because you couldn't hear the way he was doing it. So Soup and Salad Bar, as I used to call it. So Suicide Blonde, yes, that was the album I interviewed him on in London, probably a good 6 months before it came out.
They love Soup Plantation. They were just big fans of it.
Who doesn't?
There was a series of radio commercials on TV where they did all the wrong lyrics, where you would see people singing in their cars and places. Yeah,
that's one of those. So so INXS, love them. I don't necessarily need to hear that track ever again, because it was overplayed. Yeah. But is the next one Billy Idol?
No. Calm down, dude. Chill out.
I'm trying to get to the point where anyway, go ahead.
I was about to say, INXS was huge this year. This was their top song, but they also tried to do a B-side. They played a song from Pretty in Pink, "Do What You Do" from Pretty in Pink. That was the one that we didn't remember, but it's K-Rock was playing anything from INXS. What can we do? What do we got? And much like you in XTC, I think they were when they were like, we gotta find something new. Let's keep it going. Much like Billy Idol, which we will get to later.